What's up, nerds? My name is Bubba Stalkup, and you're watching and or listening to the Free Play Podcast.
You're not watching it. You're not watching it.
It's on YouTube, Kate.
You said it wasn't going to be on YouTube. You told Matt it's not on YouTube.
No, I said it was on YouTube, that it's not going to be like all the in-betweens and all the breaks and everything. Man. Remember when I just said we're recording this because
Clearly not.
of YouTube?
No,
like
I
literally
don't.
just said that?
No, I don't remember that.
I thought we were talking about Lego still.
Well, you diverted the whole thing talking about your guys' noses. How was I supposed to remember? Okay, start it over. This is dumb. Start it over. With 30 seconds in, already we can't do it.
Part of the Love Thy Nerd Podcast Network, and join with me for this here, the kickoff. What a great way to start Season 9. Season 9 of the Free Play Podcast is my bestie in the whole wide West on the East Coast. East Coast is the best coast, right?
Beast Coast. East Coast is Beast.
East is Beast. Matt Warmbier.
Hello. I was going to interrupt you by making a noise or something in that intro, but I held it in. I held it in. Just so I want you to know.
Don't worry, Kate is okay. Kate also joined with us is Kate Katawaki.
I'm sorry, but I thought I was trying to help you.
Oh, I feel great. Yeah, because I need you. I wanted to what a good episode for us is where I can derail Bubba really early on,
immediately.
Yeah, like a quick one.
Well,
and
you didn't need to.
I can't do it every episode. I can't do it every season. It's gotta be tricksy. He can't see it coming, and I held back this time. But I'm glad Kate stepped in and made it happen. Kate, you still got it. Welcome back.
Here's where the confusion comes from, just so everybody knows, right? This is where the confusion comes from. We are not live streaming on Twitch. And if you saw us go live randomly for 12 seconds on a Wednesday,
yeah.
My bad. Sometimes you click the button and you have it to auto record and go live at the same time. So I'll work on that from my end. But we're not live on Twitch with this anymore. We're trying something different. All right. And we're allowed to do that. Even if you think that we're not, we are trying something different.
Like I don't fully understand, but I'm sure I'll get there someday.
Obviously.
Well, Kate, you know what? You set up the time where we're supposed to all meet. We'll all meet. Bubba will take it from here.
Bubba's responsible for these things. I don't.
Unfortunately, that is accurate information, and I'm so sorry that is the truth. Hey, just a little bit about us. For those of you that are hopping on new and you're like, what is this train wreck that is in my ears right now? It's called the Free Play Podcast.
This is real.
This is how we roll.
This is 100% real.
Oh, none of this is staged.
It's real.
We're not this creative. I promise you that.
Like together as a trio. We have done more than 9 seasons of this here type of show, but this is
episode 177 of this show.
Yeah.
And we've done 1 billion more of everything else. So.
And I did say that there was a new slogan for Free Play starting this season, which was the Free Play Podcast, more unhinged than ever before. You didn't say that in the intro because I cut you off about something else.
True. I was getting there.
But I think just the way that this has unfolded so far lends some credence to the new slogan.
Yeah. When I think of the phrase that really got me through the 90s, right? WWJD. What would Jesus do? It's this right here. This is what I think about.
He'd do a podcast, an unhinged podcast.
An absolutely unhinged podcast.
Yeah,
cutting people off, that kind of stuff.
Yep. And he'd do it with you guys. So
we've had a little bit of a break, so I think we're kind of getting back into like the flow and the rhythm. This is our longest break we've ever had.
Yeah, that's true.
It was an unintentionally long break.
Yes.
It was very unintentionally long. I will take responsibility for it because
I don't know that you can though.
Well,
I get what you're saying, but it's not your fault.
It's not my fault, but what's relevant to the Free Play listeners is that my grandpa, who you may or may not have heard accidentally guest on the Free Play podcast before, he had some issues with instant ink, HP printers, things like that. He is a very beloved accidental guest. Yeah, my grandpa, he passed away from lung cancer in the summer, and it has been absolutely brutal. There's been so much that's happened just to me personally over the summer that my health has taken a complete dump. I'm slowly crawling out of the pit. Don't get me wrong, but it's been a brutal summer. So I will take some of the blame, but also,
would you say it's been a cruel summer?
Ooh, but now we're in the fall, and it's a chilling fall.
I will tell you this, Kate, with where you were going and what I knew about all the things that you were talking about, when you started with the HP Inc. issue, I thought that you were going to say that was what did it? What did it? Yeah, what did Pop Sin?
No, it was, although I think we did get it resolved in the end. There was another issue with it.
There's just ink coming every day, just in case.
There was another issue with it. Oh, my poor Pops. We miss him terribly. And man, it is brutal. Death is brutal, but it makes you appreciate life and it makes you appreciate so much more. And I am so pumped to be here doing free play because I have needed this in my life. Like big
you were
time
looking forward to it, and here it is.
Surprisingly, I was looking forward to it. I couldn't even not cut Bubba off for 30 seconds. I couldn't even last 30 seconds.
Couldn't do it.
Hey, you've held out for months. You weren't cutting him off for months. I can see.
That's not even true because we've been meeting. And
we've been meeting. And you know what I do at the meetings? I make him watch my Star Wars edits before we start the meeting.
I'm going to let you finish. But first let me.
I made him watch my Boba Fett / Ariana Grande collab.
I thought that one was great. You sent that one to me. I thought it was great.
It was good, but he didn't laugh.
She sent it to you, and she let you watch it on your own time. This was a part of our meeting.
Well, just the very beginning. It was only it was a 20-second edit. You know, I'll put it on the free play social medias because I think everybody should see it. But
at your leisure,
just whenever you have time.
Of which there are multiple edits. So once you guys, when you see that video. Tell Kate that you want to see the rest of the stuff that she has.
It's on my YouTube channel now that Coker told me to make.
Oh, perfect. I didn't know you actually did that. Perfect.
I did because I wanted to watch some videos I made of my cousins on the TV, and you can't like AirPlay to their TV. So I had to put it on YouTube's.
Oh, they have an old TV. I get that life. Yeah.
Hey, Matt, not to bury the lead here, but you also recently picked up an old TV.
Ooh.
I did. I'll talk more about this a little bit next week, but I'm going.
Let it be buried, okay?
Bury the lead. I will mention that I bought. No, I didn't buy. I borrowed a 32-inch CRTV. You borrowed that?
Yes.
Who needs it back?
I don't think he really needs it back, but I'm gonna.
Like across the front grill, like the speakers, there was like a bunch of like cobwebs and like
I cleaned that thing so hard. I'm afraid there's cockroaches in it. I don't want to bring.
Well, just be careful. Just be careful.
That's how you know it's authentic, right?
So I'll talk more about that next week and why I had that 32-inch CRTV from probably I would guess that's a late 90s, early 2000s
late 90s, easy,
yeah. And that thing it weighs, I would say 70 pounds. I think it's so heavy. It's so heavy.
Yeah, it's like the weight of a sixth grader, probably. I mean,
it absolutely is. Yeah. It's just dog. When you have a hurt wrist too. Ooh,
oh my gosh!
I did it.
Hey, real quick before we close out this segment here, Matt and I had an opportunity. Some of the things that we did over our summer break.
Yeah. Not make edits and videos.
Well, we did not do that.
It's good for you. It's good for you.
I know it is.
We had an opportunity, Matt and I, to go to North Carolina to pitch. As a part of what's called Next Ventures through Leadership Network.
Oh, fancy.
And if you don't know what that is, it doesn't matter. Basically, what it amounts to is Christian Shark Tank. All right, that's the best way that I can describe this thing.
That's a good way to put it.
And it was really fun. It was really great. We got to meet a lot of people who are doing some really cool, kind of non-traditional ministries. And one of them was like an RV. Like mobile camping ministry, which is really cool.
Interesting.
And so there's a lot of really cool things. We got to pitch there. It was for grant money. We ended up coming in 4th place. Top 3 got grants.
Yeah.
Okay. So they were talking about razor thin, margins, all sorts of stuff. All that being said, while we were there, I take Matt as many places as I possibly can. And I have apologized to him to his face. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry if it just feels like I'm just dragging you along and you don't feel like you have anything to do. While I'm out there like giving the pitch and doing all that
presentation,
stuff.
I sat and watched.
Yes. But Matt is a very vital part of what we do at LTN and what I specifically do in public with LTN because he's the hype man. He's the funny guy. He's the guy that makes the water
like freaking
nice to get
here.
Into. And so legitimately speaking, I would be in the middle of telling somebody something. This is a real thing that happened. I was in the middle of telling somebody something about LTN that they asked very specifically about.
Yeah.
And I just in like a break in the conversation for me to like take a breath, they were like, cool. Hey, Matt, you're really funny. And
I can't
like,
even remember. Like,
what did you say? Did you
I have
say?
no idea. I have
knows?
no idea. I was really trying to let Bubba finish and like, get all these things out, but
I'm gonna let you.
Exactly. I'm gonna let you finish. But there's just times where like my mouth opens and stuff comes out like just
every
quick
time.
things, like quick, like little interjections, a little joke, like a funny voice, whatever it is. And I can't stop it. And I've learned that this is going to sound cocky. This is a God-given talent that I'm trying to fully, really trying to fully embrace it.
Okay.
I'm learning like, when is an inappropriate time. Like I didn't interrupt at the beginning of the podcast. Like that would have been totally inappropriate.
Kate, you could write some of this down.
Write
just
some of this
down.
But
I'll get right on it.
Like I'm learning that that's who I'm made to be, is like kind of a people joke guy, like getting to know people and like getting their stories, but also like laughing with them. So I'm not really fully explaining it very well. Maybe.
No, I get it. So you guys are like a Jekyll and
jester.
Hyde. No, you're like a Jekyll and Hyde thing, the two of you.
Oh, between us. Yeah. I'm Jester and Hyde.
Oh,
Jester and Hyde. There it is.
Yeah, Jester and Hyde.
Jester and Hyde. That's not bad, actually. That's merch right there.
Okay. Yeah, but I think like between the two of us, like it's a good like 1-2 like tickle.
Well, it's a tickle. Well, and what's really cool is like the gaps in whether it be like broader knowledge or nostalgia or nerd culture or whatever. For instance, like we pair really well, Matt and I. Like I can start a conversation and the moment it gets to something that I'm not as knowledgeable about. For instance, we met Canadian friends. I don't know how we keep doing this. We've got like this Canadian magnet to us now. It was like, oh, well, they're Canadian. I was like, hockey or not?
Actually, I pushed
Bubba.
I made Bubba move seats so I could sit closer to them.
Absolutely did.
It was so good.
What's really funny
that is good.
For whatever reason, because even in North Carolina, I don't know why this was the deal, but we met some Michiganders.
Mm-hmm.
And
of course, those are Matt's
Of course,
people.
I'm like, hey, where are you at on the mitten? And he's like, don't talk to him.
No,
like,
no. Just let Matt handle it.
Then he gets into a conversation about Michigan and, how much water is in the Lake Superior. And
Kate, this is going to blow your mind, Kate. But Kate doesn't know, so we can wrap this segment up here in a second. Kate, if Lake Superior, the lake that's above the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, if that water was to flood out, it would cover North and South America with 1 foot of water.
Allegedly.
That's what. Yes.
So if you drained, so what you're saying is if you drained the lake.
Yes. And it was able to cover North and South America. It would cover it in a foot of water. There's that much water in Lake Superior.
What about the elevation of all the mountains? Are you just saying if it was all flat?
I'm going to say it's all flat. I wasn't sure about that either, but I'm going to say if it's all flat.
That's very interesting. I did not know that.
If some way you could just cover every piece of land with a foot of water, that's
actually really concerning.
It shouldn't be.
No, that means there's enough water for us to drink. It's not
possible.
Well, there's enough water for us to drink then.
Can you drink that water?
It's fresh water.
Ooh wee.
You're welcome, everybody. That's
all right.
Okay, well, I'll just ask Steven later about the water. He knows.
Matt, I almost, speaking of Lake Superior, I came across a TikTok, as I'm wont to do. I came across a TikTok that talked about some creature that lives in Lake Superior.
Oh.
So then the creature would come out if the water was drained, is what you're saying now.
That's how it happens, actually.
Was it Mishapishu?
I don't know.
The underwater panther in Lake Superior?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Mishapishu. I don't know that one.
It's like some like dinosaur lizard panther hybrid kind of a thing or whatever. Anyway. So, hey, with that being said, welcome back to the Free Play Podcast. This is what we do. If you guys are wondering, what the heck is this podcast
More
about?
More unhinged than ever before.
This is the Seinfeld of podcasts. Okay.
Season 9.
Well, sometimes we have good things. I mean, this is a loose episode. We're just kind of going with it as just a welcome back to everyone.
Well, when we come back from the break, because we're about to take a quick break right here. When we come back from the break, we're going to tell you kind of a little bit briefly what you might be in store for this season. Because it is it's a truncated season. Okay. Mm-hmm. But this may be a model that we take moving forward. And we kind of want to help you guys know a little bit about that.
Yeah. What is it? I don't know what it is.
Kate has no idea. We're also going to be talking about the things that we have been reading, watching, playing, and experiencing in nerd culture. So don't go anywhere. And we'll be back with more of the Free Play Podcast.
Welcome to the Lightning Round, brought to you by Moviga. I'm Brian with your weekly source for all things movies, video games, and more. Now grab your ponchos and let's catch up on this week's news. IGN has ranked most, if not all, of the current popular streaming services with a few standouts that I thought were interesting. Most received 8s, which is a great rating in their scale. Netflix, Peacock, and Amazon Prime all fell in that 8 ranking system. I think that feels about right. Those are ones that I find myself using somewhat often, maybe with the exception of Peacock. Apple TV Plus and Paramount Plus both received 7s just because of the lack of variety, even though most of the content on both of those platforms has been pretty great with few exceptions. Topping off the list was Hulu, with them mentioning that they had probably the most consistent and diverse selection of content. I think personally that is spot on. Hulu has been the one I use far and away the most recently, but what do you think? Do you think these are accurate, or do you think maybe there are some other ones that should have ranked higher? Well, the WGA strike is tentatively over. After 146 days of striking, it does look like a contract has been agreed upon by both sides. We have Talk TV, such as Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, returning this week, which is exciting. Hopefully we'll be able to get some more amazing content from these writers now that the strike is over. SAG-AFTRA has confirmed that it had some scheduled talks with the video game industry leaders this week that did end in no deal, unfortunately. So there is the possibility of another strike looming, even though the WGA strike did just end. We'll have to keep our eye on this and see what this means for the video game industry and how it will affect consumers. Well, it looks like the storm has passed. Be sure to check out the Moviga podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere you listen to that sort of thing. That's where we're talking all things movies, video games, and more. Once again, I'm Brian. Thanks so much for joining me this week for the Lightning Round.
What's up, nerds? Welcome back to the Free Play Podcast. Once again, my name is Bubba Stalkup, joined by Matt Warmbier and Kate Katawaki. We are the hosts of this year, the Free Play Podcast, and also we are 3 of the founders of Love Thy Nerd, which is an organization, for those of you that don't know, an organization that exists to be the love of Jesus to nerds and nerd culture. We're a qualifying 501c3 nonprofit, public charity, religious organization.
Wow.
And it's a lot of words, right? It's big old mouthful. But what we do is we try to actually not just tell people about the love of Jesus, but be that to them in as much as it pertains to nerd culture ministry. And so we're not going to belabor that too much. You want more information, please do us a favor. Go ahead and check us out online, lovethynerd.com or at lovethynerd on all of the major platforms. And if you're listening to this podcast on anywhere other than, say, Spotify or YouTube, you can find us on your favorite podcasting platform of choice, except maybe Google. Matt, a Coker said something about Google is like doing something weird, so we ended up taking all the.
Just look it up, and if
Google
it's there,
podcast
it's there.
Stuff. If you're on Android, make better choices with your life. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
get yourself a titanium
from space. I don't understand that. Does titanium come from space?
No. I don't know. I don't think so. It's a song by Sia.
Well, I only know, I'm going to say it's not, because Ezra's doing a school project where you have to have 15 different elements represented in this shadow box, and one of them is titanium. So,
I'm more probably of an unobtainium kind of guy.
Not that hard to get then.
You guys ever seen Avatar?
No.
The the ore, like the precious metal that they're trying to get from underneath that tree, they call it unobtainium. And it was just like the biggest face palm moment.
Clever, clever.
Did they get it?
No, man.
Oh, never mind.
Okay, well, no spoilers in case.
Okay, titanium is
maybe they did. Who knows?
Titanium is the 9th most abundant metal on Earth. Go ahead.
Well, but how many in space though? Number one. Number one in our hearts.
I don't want to discuss this anymore. I want to discuss the next thing so we could talk about what I'm doing.
Okay, fair enough. Speaking of titanium, hey, we talked about this at the end of the first segment. If you're just out joining us, we are moving into a new season, not just season 9, but a new season of the Free Play podcast. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to have a better understanding of what this could look like, what it should look like, and how we're actually going to be doing this moving forward. And so with that, we need your help. And so if you have ideas of things that you would like for us to cover, please let us know. You can send us all kinds of information on our social media. You can hit us up on Discord or anything else that you want to. But what we're going to be doing is like a truncated version of a normal season, right? And so in that, what we're going to be doing is covering different topics, probably starting in season 10.
Yeah, this one's going to be unhinged. So just prepare your bodies. But season 10, we're going to pull it together and like try some new things. It's
the unhingier, the better is what I always say.
Yeah.
Unhingy. Ugh. Ick.
You heard me.
I kind of like it.
We're gonna have 6 episodes this season. So this episode that you're listening to, and then 5 more ending in December, and they're gonna come out every other week. So Free Play is moving from an every week show now to an every other week show. That's something that we need to do just so that we have better mental space and better actual working time where we can do other things that we need to be doing.
We're not just on screen talent. We also do other things.
We're not just, that's absolutely right. Not just on screen talent. But the fact of the matter is that we want to be able to give you guys more quote unquote quality content, whatever that is.
This is always high quality content.
Unhinged content.
Yeah, unhinged.
It's definitely something. That's for sure. So all that being said, just be on the lookout for new things and stuff that's happening different. You are still going to be able to access this on YouTube if you want to watch the live or not the live. I understand that just the video. I don't want to confuse Kate anymore.
I understand now.
And we want to be able to give you guys just way better content. So every single week, things, it dilutes the content that we actually have time to produce. And sometimes life happens. And so, hey, give us a little bit of grace, kind of roll with us. I have heard a lot of people, and I'm not even exaggerating, like an obnoxious amount of people that are like, hey, so when's Free Play coming back? When are you guys doing Free Play again?
Free Play will never play.
Just go listen to the other 176 episodes we got.
No. But there's new stuff. They want the unhinged.
Yeah.
It just keeps coming back around to that.
Which I'm very grateful for. Like, I'm glad that you guys like what we have here, because sometimes we just look at each other and go, well, we tried.
This is the best we can do.
Yeah. Well, hey, we like to talk about the things that we've been reading, watching, playing, and experiencing in nerd culture. So I thought to kick off season 9, nice change of pace here is Kate. Why don't you go and
I always expect you to say me instead, but it's never me.
No, it's never. It will always be me. And I just want to make it clear to everyone that I fully understand what Bubba just said.
Because you're smart.
I just felt like I didn't get started on like the right foot about everything with this one.
Because you're smart.
Whatever Matt says, I believe Matt.
So I understand what's happening here. Just want to make that clear.
Let the record state.
Let the record state that I understand what was just said and spoken about. So what I've been playing this summer has been wild for me, as I said at the beginning of the podcast. What has gotten me through the summer? Star Wars. Am I a Star Wars complete obsessed person now? Yes, I am. I will not apologize for it. I want to learn as much about Star Wars as I can. I've decided my area of expertise in Star Wars that I want it to be is the Clone Wars. So anything Clone Wars, I want to be the expert.
Okay.
Give
me like one piece of knowledge that the common folk may not know.
How many clones are there?
No, I don't know. Like something that the common
Millions.
there's a lot of things that the common folk won't know. But I'll give you like a hot take opinion of mine, which I think that Captain Rex is the ultimate Star Wars character. He's the perfect example of a Star Wars character. I personally think the Jedi are a little overrated. I really like the Mandalorians. They have a troubled past. I've been learning a lot about them, but I think that at the end of the day, Captain Rex is Star Wars. Okay. I can really, that's fine. I can really expand upon it. I could probably talk for about an hour about why I think that this is. We'll just leave it at that. My Star Wars obsession has also began leaching into other areas of life. To my right here, I have 4 Star Wars Lego kits that I've completed. Yeah. I have
I'm so proud because this is your very first, like you purchased these Star Wars, like you purchased Lego sets.
Yeah. With my own money, very purposefully.
Yeah.
I have the Mandalorian N1 Starfighter. I have the Boba Fett fire spray. And then I have the Commander Cody and Captain Rex heads. Okay. And I have some minifigs in a special display box.
Oh, so this is just Boba Fett.
What are you talking about?
No.
Captain Rex.
Get out of here.
No.
They all look the same. It's a clone.
No, it has nothing to do with it. I'll explain it to you later or when you're older. I am just really into Star Wars right now. I will talk about it to anyone. I feel like it is, nerdy things come into your life for a reason /season/forever, as the quote goes. And it was what my heart needed at the time was Star Wars. I was watching Mandalorian because someone gave me a Disney Plus login, and now it's snowballed into I've seen all the animated.
I was going to say Mandalorian was like the first, was the launching point for everything else.
It was the gateway. Yes.
The gate. Okay. That's what I meant. Gateway.
And I have seen the original 3 Star Wars movies. I've seen the first 2 prequels, and I've seen and I saw Rogue One, and I saw the first sequel. So there's movies that I have not seen, but I'm working my way through. Which I
think super, to me, like that's super interesting because most of us, a lot of people around my age grew up, seeing the original trilogy, and then you saw the prequels, and then you like started to get a few other movies in there. But with Kate jumping in and seeing all of these shows before she's seen all of the movies, like that's going to like really change the way you perceive all of the Star Wars content, which
absolutely.
I think is great.
I'm trying to watch in chronological order for the most part.
These young millennials, man, they're changing the way the world operates. Okay.
Yeah. And I think my favorite is The Bad Batch. Absolutely.
Ooh,
overall. Okay.
Overall,
so
my
you might
favorite
be the only person I've ever heard say that out loud.
Is Bad Batch.
Have you seen Bad Batch?
No.
I was sobbing.
It's so good.
No, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that she's probably the only person I've ever heard say that.
That's fine, but it also is my like Clone Wars thing. There's just so much. I'm sure this will evolve as I keep watching through everything. I have a whole list. It's on my whiteboard right here, chronological order, everything. And I'm just going to keep working my way through it. I have 5 more Thrawn books to read. So we'll get into that.
You're in very deep. I love it.
I'm in deep. I am thankful for Star Wars to have helped me through this difficult time. And now all my money's flying away. So it's great.
Now we need to leverage all of this research and obsession into a resource.
Yes.
Matt
called Bad Batch is my favorite, and here's why.
No. You were just talking about how it helped you through a difficult time.
5 times I cried about the clones like that.
Let's just explore that. Talk about that a little bit. Okay. And also, like Matt is working through a watch order, multiple watch orders for the MCU. Yes. We're putting together a Marvel resource. And so like that kind of stuff, I think is super important to have on our website for people just to be able to look at and get things that it's not like, oh, it's always going to be this big spiritual or emotional draw every time I read something on LTN.
No, it's why is Captain Rex the best Star Wars character?
Yeah.
Watch these 5 episodes.
Who's the best Star Wars character and why is it Captain Rex?
Why is Boba Fett the most influential? I'm sorry,
no,
Jango
it's not.
Fett.
It's Jango. It's Jango. It's not even
apologies.
Boba.
Jenga Fett.
Jango Fett, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was saying at a family thing how I've gotten really into it, and then my aunt was like, said something about like, oh, all the clones are Boba Fett, and I said no, they're actually Jango, and she goes, oh, you're deep in the lore now, aren't you? And I'm like, okay, get out of here. Everybody freaking knows that. Like, I'm deep in the lore. You can't say I'm deep in the lore. Like,
you're in so deep right now.
I got really angry, but I held it
deep,
in.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I will
Okay,
say,
Matt,
that means that you can get out of it. That's all.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah,
spoiler.
Spoilers.
I do think that you were talking about the Jedi being overrated and Mandalorians, and I meant kind of a spoiler, kind of not a spoiler. Everything's a spoiler for Star Wars. There's just too much to kind of keep your head on straight about. But with the new Ahsoka stuff that's out right now,
just be careful what you're about to say. Just be careful.
I'm just saying, like when those two start to blend together, it's really cool.
Yeah,
it is
really
cool. I have thoughts about the series too. So,
and I feel like more of those kind of mashups, right? More of those blending moments need to happen.
Yeah,
or have happened. I just don't know about them, right? Because I don't know.
Yeah.
No, that's okay. I could teach you all about the clones.
You have a lot of stuff to watch. You're gonna have to stop watching disc golf stuff, Bubba.
Yeah,
dude,
no more
listen,
of that.
You can't talk to me like that. I know you think you can, but no, sir.
Oh.
Well. Anyways, Kate, Matt.
You done? Is that it?
Well, I have like more stuff, but we can talk about it in the next segment because we're still going to talk more about this in the next one.
Yeah, this is just like what's been going on.
Yeah, just overview.
Okay, well, for me, I mean, our last episode was beginning of the summer. Is that right?
Something like that.
And I don't think that Tears of the Kingdom came out.
No, it came out midsummer.
Midsummer's night. Yeah, it was Midsummer's night.
Yeah, a midsummer stream. Yeah.
And I have been playing the heck out of Tears of the Kingdom. I think I have about 190 hours in, roughly. I'm very close to beating it. And I thought that I only had a few shrines left. And then I did a quick teleport and I still have 20 shrines left. And my heart kind of sank a little bit. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm enjoying this. But I thought I was at the point where I could like just go finish it. And now I need to do like more scouring and more searching for these shrines I'm missing. Some are easy finds. Some are like, I don't even know where to look. So
you gotta cheat. Go get one of those maps.
Here's what I'm trying not to do. I'm trying not to cheat. Okay. Because if I cheat, I will, sure, I'll finish it, but then I'll never be able to go back and then like not know where those ones are again. And so like, I'm really trying to take my time and enjoy the journey, at least until Spider-Man 2 comes out. And then I'm going to play Spider-Man 2.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm excited
waiting for
it.
that 14-inch Venom. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, check the internet.
I don't.
I'm waiting for that Venom.
Edit that out.
Because, maybe. I'm waiting to play that game. But I want to get through Zelda first. And
a little treat for when you're done.
And I think that comes out at the end of October. So I have a little bit of time.
Yeah.
But I've played a ton. It's been very good. Some people will say it's just Breath of the Wild again. And in some instances, they're right. But I think
I tell you that was verified?
Yeah, I heard it just was basically a DLC they were trying to make, and they realized it just
got too big.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, fine. I mean, I think I have probably about the same amount in Breath of the Wild. So to get another game and have that much gameplay, that's great. I think the only game that would rival for this amount of time, besides like an NHL game that if you collected throughout the whole years of my life I've played, would add up to be more, would be Red Dead, right?
I knew it.
I'm more than 200 hours in that.
Oh, yeah.
Red Dead 2?
Yeah, Red Dead 2.
Okay.
Of course.
Which I've still yet to finish.
Well,
oh, gosh.
I don't think you'll ever finish it.
You might
but
be
it's fine. It's not for everybody.
You might be right. No, it is for me. That's the thing.
There's no disc golf in it, so it's understandable.
You're absolutely
you
actually, if you're listening.
I guess you could make your own courses.
But how would you do it though?
With guns?
With guns, yeah. There you go with guns.
Some birds out of the sky.
I saw someone make a mod of a very large gun in that game. So if you can do that, you can probably do other things.
I don't have time for modding. I don't have time to play the base game. I'm not going to mod anything.
I don't know.
Oh, I like that.
All right, Bubba. What about you? You all of your summer wrapped up into just a few minutes here. No pressure.
I mean, legitimately, it's been kind of alluded to, but disc golf has been a thing that is kind of taken over my free time, and also some of the time that I have that's not free, right? And so
bonus time.
I don't subscribe to the Disc Golf Network because for some reason I can't justify the $120 a year that it would cost to do that.
Well,
you say whoa.
If you divide it by the months, it's like
Disney Plus. It's like Netflix. It's like
I mean, I get it, but like it's not like okay.
So do you just watch? Would you just watch people playing?
See, I sign up for ESPN.
That's usually how television works. Yeah,
I sign up for ESPN Plus so I can watch hockey, but it's not exclusively hockey. It's whatever.
It's so many other things.
Other sports.
Maybe that's why I can't justify it.
It's only disc golf then.
Just disc golf. Yeah, it's the Disc Golf Network, and so.
Do they have like commentary and like stars on there? Like, like pro disc golfers and
reviews.
So it's real. It's not just like some guys playing in the.
So that's the thing is like all this stuff started out as just dudes and dudettes that are just like, hey, we're going to go and, talk about these things. And there's a company out there called Jomez Pro, and they do it's freaking top notch. Like I think it's better than some of like the NFL, NBA, like all those stuff. Like they put a lot of work into it and it looks really good. But here's the thing though, like that still exists. They're a part of the Disc Golf Network now, but I can still watch the day after truncated versions of the rounds of the lead card, right? Okay. So I'm not watching for 10 hours. It's a 15-20 minute video and I get the whole lead card, for the front nine and then another, 15-20 minute for the back nine.
I think for your life and your schedule, that's probably good.
I like it. But I also like having things on in the background as I'm just going, throughout my day and my week. But the thing of it is like I want to watch more of it and I'm learning a lot about disc golf. Is that making my game any better? No, it is not.
Well, it's because of this guy, your thumb.
This one, I don't even do anything with it. That's the
one.
So it's the wrong. It's the left hand, so it doesn't even.
Well, it's almost time to start like getting things together for what you want from Santa Claus and getting your Christmas money orders ready.
Yeah, I don't know that I want to ask for that though.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying.
For? Oh, are you talking Disc Golf Network or Disc Golf Discs?
If I'm asking for things from Santa Claus, this is how deep I am, Kate. I'm probably like Clone Wars deep into disc golf.
Oh,
right
okay,
now.
okay. Yeah,
I can respect it. I respect the hustle.
I want a really awesome disc golf bag, and these bags are, you guys know me in bags, right?
I do.
Like I'm not just looking for a little
top quality
podunks.
Nice.
Like these are. I saw one on sale, like second or third hand in a Facebook group for $280.
What?
Yeah.
How big are they?
And I'm like, not a bad price for that bag. Like these are
backpacks go, and bags go for a lot of money.
Are you talking like a satchel?
No, it's like a backpack.
Yeah. Does the company that made your backpack make disc golf bags too? No. Okay, nope. You checked already.
The company that makes this bag is called Squatch. Has no correlation with Dr. Squatch. No correlation.
It's meant to be.
Maybe a little partnership there.
It's such a great bag. It just is. Anybody who's playing disc golf, I've said this once, I'll say it 1,000 times more. Like that is the nerd sport of choice. If a nerd's going to go out and play a game, it's disc golf.
Why? Why do you think?
Why not hockey? Is that what you're thinking? Why wouldn't they play hockey?
Hockey's contact.
We don't like that.
No, but like even at Gen Con, one of the booths was selling.
It was Stonemeyer.
Yeah, Stonemeyer was selling discs. And did Bubba buy many games at Gen Con? No, but did he buy 3 discs?
How about 2 discs?
Okay. Like from Gen Con? Yes, he did.
Yeah, I did.
And
that's very appropriate.
He showed them to other people he knows playing. Like, whoa, wow, those are over there. Yeah. Let me go get some. I was like,
yeah, you know what's funny?
Your hockey sticks at you jerks.
He did all that, and then he has made fun of me before for buying clothes from.
That's just ridiculous.
Okay, you can make your own clothes.
Can you?
I can't make my own discs.
I don't know. So. You could probably, but
you don't want that. Nobody wants that.
You don't want that. Tree bark.
Anyway, I'm starting to think about things, and like even over the break, I'm actually a part of a Thursday morning leadership discussion group, And some of the guys that are in that discussion group, they work for the PDGA, the Pro Disc Golf Association.
Of course they do.
Or they run, I didn't even know about this before I got into it. Or that, like, one of them's the CEO of one of the major brands that's out there. And some of the other guys like run different foundations in the disc golf world. And I'm like, I just love the space that I'm in. Like, I feel very comfortable right now.
Good.
And yeah.
We all need our little
so
comfort
good.
obsessions.
But
I had another guy join our disc golf card. Basically, it was just me and one of my close friends for a very long time playing on Tuesday, and a guy that is in our small group, good friend of mine, didn't even know he played disc golf. He's like, "Hey, you guys play disc golf? You mind if I join?"
Of course not. Please,
by all means, let's come on. The more the merrier. And he's actually really good at disc golf, which sucks for me, but it's good to have somebody a part of it where it's like, why haven't we been talking about this? Why have we
you
not
should
been...
always be challenged, to get better. You know what you guys should do? You like this is, how you like to go backpacking sometimes. Why don't you go backpacking disc golfing?
Those don't usually run hand in hand.
Well, you could though. Courses? Yeah, you could make your own thing and be like, we're going to be gone for a week. We're going to be gone for a week.
Throw horses.
And backpacking and we're going to play disc golf along the way.
Just think about disc golf courses off the Appalachian Trail.
I thought about it while you were saying it.
No. Listen. Off the Appalachian Trail, there's a lot of like small towns. I bet they have disc golf courses.
I'm not interested in
and they would all get
Appalachian
flooded
Trail.
when Lake Superior leaks, wouldn't it?
Do it now before it gets flooded, okay?
Before, what is his name? Lake Superior.
Lake Superior gets flooded.
No, his name is Mishapishu.
Yeah,
it's gonna get you.
Jeez.
Anyway, hey, those are just some of the things. That's not even the tip of the iceberg. We talked about Ahsoka a little bit. We've been doing that. I watched Into the Spider-Verse.
Same.
I'm sorry, Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah. There you go.
Watched it on my Southwest flight. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to drop this little truth bomb, at least from my perspective, and then we can move on. I think that the Spider-Verse trilogy will be the best trilogy that has ever existed.
Oh.
And we don't even have the third one yet. There's no... With the strikes and all that stuff, there's no understanding of when it's going to come out. And honestly, I'm putting this up there with any other trilogy that you can think about, listener or otherwise. I just think that the stories that are being told, the animation, the arcs, just everything, the character building, all of it. I think that it is on pace from my perspective to be the best. And if not the best, because that's subjective, right? To be my absolute favorite trilogy.
All right. So that's one of your upcoming predictions.
It is. It is a prediction that I will like it the best. Yes.
I should write that down. I'll do it later.
Write that down.
Well, hey, we're going to get out of here and take a quick break, but don't go anywhere because when we come back, we're going to be talking about more things we've been doing over the summertime right here.
You're dying to know.
The Free Play Podcast.
Today in Nerd History. Today's date is October 4th. In 1957, Sputnik was launched. Sputnik was the first artificial satellite to orbit Earth, launched by the Soviet Union, which sparked the space race between the US and the USSR. In 1995, Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island released in the US. This is a classic platform game where you control Yoshi, a friendly dinosaur who must carry baby Mario across various levels and rescue his brother Luigi from the evil Kamek and Bowser. The game features a unique hand-drawn art style, innovative gameplay mechanics, and a variety of enemies and puzzles. In 2019, Joker premiered. This movie depicts the origin story of Arthur Fleck, a failed comedian who suffers from a disorder that causes him to laugh uncontrollably, and how he transforms into the iconic Batman villain after being rejected and abused by society. For more nerdy facts about today's entries, visit lovethynerd.com/nerdhistory.
Welcome back to the Free Play Podcast. Once again, my name is Bubba, joined with Matt and Kate.
Hello.
And if this is your first time with us on the Free Play Podcast, I hope you're enjoying yourself. And if this is your 177th time with us on the podcast, sorry, not
Welcome
sorry.
back. Yeah, welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back. We're happy to have you.
Welcome back. That's what I meant to say.
Welcome back.
Man, we have been doing. It's been a busy summer for us.
Yeah,
and
say that again.
It's been a busy summer for us.
Mm.
Yeah, don't make me say it again. And not just in the sense of like things going on with LTN and trying to move stuff forward and working towards the Nerd Culture Ministry Summit, ncmsummit.com. Join us November 8th, 9th, and 10th in Marble Falls. Not just those things, right? But just personally, right? And so Matt has brought it. He has brought this thing upon himself and taken it on his shoulders to go on his own little GameCube gander
pilgrimage,
gamut,
Michigander.
Take a Michigander at it.
There you go.
To try and Matt, are you trying to get all of them? What are you doing?
I don't know. It's tough because I think there are like 800 GameCube games, and I know that there's a Disney basketball game that I would have to spend like thousands of dollars.
I saw that the other day.
You're welcome.
Why though? Like, why is it? What makes it so special that it is that way?
It's Mickey.
No one wanted
Mickey's
it.
basketball stuff.
Well, it's because it wasn't a popular game, and so they didn't make a lot of it. So people didn't really buy it.
Now it's limited run and it's special.
Now not many people have it.
Yeah, well, Mickey's,
Now, have I thought about getting all the GameCube games? Yeah, I've thought about it. I mean, it would be a fantastic journey that would take me years, and I would probably have to miss out on some of those, like that one. There's like a Pokemon game that is probably expensive. There's several that are like,
I think you can get them though.
It could take the rest of your life.
I've watched people do this.
Like, it's like when you take like a penny and you trade me
trade it for an egg.
Yeah, one red paper clip. Yep.
And then you get a boat.
Okay, keep trading up. Okay. I mean, I could do it.
I've watched people do it specifically with GameCube. Like
trade up.
They're gonna go through. But here's the thing: they're going to retro shows. They're garage sailing.
That's
like
where I need
every weekend.
Yeah. So let me jump back to the beginning of the summer. Okay. Now I've had this GameCube that was given to me from a Starbucks employee because in my youth I sold mine with whatever games I had, and I had Wind Waker. I had wrestling games. I had Turtles games. I had like the games you'd probably Double Dash, like games you would want to have. I sold them all because I was very short-sighted. I didn't know what I had. And it was the purple lunchbox GameCube. So
that's the good one, man. That's the iconic one.
That's the base one right there. And so when I was at Starbucks, one of the guys working there also was probably short-sighted. He said, "Hey, I have a GameCube. Do you want it?" And I said, "Absolutely, I do." So he gave me his GameCube. And he gave me, I think it's like a Recess game. Like, you remember that show on Disney, Recess?
Got it.
It's one of those. I can't remember what it's called. Like, but it's like a sport game with skateboard and stuff. Mario Sunshine,
good one,
and one other that I don't remember. It wasn't really worth it. So I was like, awesome, thank you so much. Later on, that same week I bought the Zelda Master Quest Ocarina of Time for $15, and so I didn't buy any
which
games.
Is ridiculous.
That is
a
very good find, because that one should be a very expensive game, and I found it for very cheap. So I didn't buy anything. I kind of let my GameCube sit there, and then fast forward years later, someone at my church was like, in our buy sell trade group for our church, people were like, "Hey, I have these GameCube games. Does anyone want them? I haven't been able to test them. I don't have anybody to test them. They're free." And I said, "Ooh, yes, please."
Free.
And I then added to my collection just all of these games that you would want in your collection: Metroid Prime, Super Smash Bros, Luigi's Mansion, you name
bangers.
The classic game. Yeah, the classic games you probably would want on your GameCube, minus the Zelda games. They were in this collection. Now I've had to do some work on some of them, get them refurbished, and I've gotten them mostly to work.
What do you do to make them work? What is it you're talking about?
Well, you can take them to game shops. I went to a game shop called Game Exchange, and they have a refurbisher there.
Oh, so it's not just you breathing on it and wiping it with a cloth.
No, did I try that? Yes,
put toothpaste in it. Yeah.
I did deodorant just around it. Yeah. I took it there. I had them cleaned, and I can get them to work mostly. I have a Lego Star Wars game that I can't get to work. It's the first one, but
after resurfacing it.
Yeah, he said after I just took 3 in, and he said after I had him do it, I was like, all right, is that $1 a piece? And he said, oh, actually, don't worry about it. Like, I'm not sure I did anything to really help. And I went home and I actually got Smash Bros to work where I couldn't before. Twilight Princess, I bought Twilight Princess, got that to work. So I went from 3 or 4 GameCube games at the beginning of the summer to now I have 45 GameCube games.
Brilliant.
Most of which I have not purchased. I purchased Twilight Princess. I got a damaged disc only copy for very cheap. Works fine. You can buy cases later. And I bought Tony Hawk Underground because I haven't been able to find it. But I've been on a search both in our communities, online, Facebook online, eBay, local like antique stores, local like Goodwills. And what I'm finding here, you can't find GameCube games out there in the wild.
Dude, they are scarce.
Bubba, when you and I are in North Carolina, we went to several shops in that area. We drove a lot. We drove more than we should have. We drove more than we should have. How about that?
We legitimately
probably for stuff.
We probably drove 2 hours worth of time through North Carolina to different spots looking for stuff. How many games we get, Matt?
We bought 0 games. How many games did we see? Maybe 10 total. Huh. And they were always like they were very overpriced, or like they were just like, oh, you want Madden 2002? Here it is. Like those are the ones you find out in the wild. If you really,
titles.
Yeah, lots of sports titles, lots of golf and football, and very few
disc
hockey.
Golf or
no disc golf. I don't think there's a
don't
disc golf
tease me, man. I'm ready for a disc golf game.
I thought there was one. Disc jammers. So I've done some trading with some people in our community to add to my collection. I've barely spent any money on any of these games, and I'm now at 45. I have 10 more coming in the mail eventually from CJ. I have to.
Excellent.
He asked for a surprisey basically, which he had a specific ask. I don't. CJ, if you're not listening while you're writing it, I don't know if they're making those, so we'll figure it out. He wants an NCMS jersey.
We are.
Okay. CJ, I gotcha.
Tell me soon.
That worked out for you, didn't it?
Yeah.
Whew, that worked. Yeah, you're welcome. So I've just been going on this hunt of like looking for GameCube stuff. I want the screen. I want the Ethernet adapter. I want the Game Boy Advance connection. Of
course, you need that.
I want all of it, but I don't even have a Game Boy. So that's like that'd be my.
Well, I do, so I could connect my Game Boy.
Come on over.
Yeah.
Come on
over the internet.
Yeah.
And I've been able to find some in the wild, but I just never want to spend the money because I figure I can find it cheaper with someone or trade. Because I have a lot of board games that I would be willing to trade away. The top games I'm still looking for: Mario Kart Double Dash. That one's just overly priced on the internet.
What are they asking?
75 to 125.
Wow. Yikes.
Right, and that's kind of like. I realize
a little
like
much.
Matt, that's the price of a new game right now. I'm like, I get it, but it's old.
Still, though. Exactly.
Also missing Wind Waker. I haven't been able to find a cheap Wind Waker.
Grail, dude. Like
I know. I could have pulled the trigger for like $55 no case ones. I'm like, I just kind of.
You need the case for that one though.
And then I went to an antique store. I went to a Peddler's Mall.
Peddler's Mall.
Yeah, it's like an antique. Like people like have
it's like Smuggler's Run.
Yeah, exactly. Mall. Okay, yeah. Peddler's Mall, like people have booths set up that they sell antique stuff. And so I went to this Peddler's Mall, and in the front they have their electronics section, and they did have GameCube games. And I was like, oh wow, there's actually more here than I expected. And then I like dug in more. I'm like, oh, these 15 right here are case only games. Like there's no game in them. I'm like, that's cool because I maybe would need one of these, but like I would like the game too if that's.
I would like the game as well if that's possible.
Yeah. So that's been a lot of like my past few months and my obsession. Like Kate had Star Wars, Bubba had putting disc golf on Disc Golf Network and playing and all that. So for me, like I've just spent a lot of time looking and asking and trading and like and hoping and praying.
It's very wholesome.
Thank you.
It's and very interesting. It has a grassroots vibe to it here because you could just go and splash a bunch of money out and get all the things that you want. Like,
newsflash, I don't have a bunch of money. So.
Well, but if you did, I mean, like there's, you know, you could force it in that way.
I've said for
I like
a while
this.
now.
This is interesting.
If you could find a way, even if it was taking out a loan, all right, hear me out.
Gosh.
Okay.
If you could find a way to fund or get capital or whatever, any way that you can, sell plasma, right?
I used to, yeah.
If you had $5,000, which is no small amount of money. Okay.
Sure.
If you had $5,000, you could start like an eBay business where you just went and bought and sold stuff from yard sales or estate sales or Facebook Marketplace or whatever. And what I've seen online with some of these, some of these people that are doing it is they have a thing that they're going for, right? So I watch a guy called, his YouTube channel is Phoenix Resale. Okay. And he's actually, Matt, he's out in your area, right? He's in,
really? You should talk to him.
He's in the Louisville area.
Maybe he'll think you're funny Kentucky. And stuff.
He's not in Louisville, but he's in the Louisville area.
Yeah. Okay.
And so it's one of those deals where like they'll go out and they'll buy a bunch of things. And what he does is he did the GameCube Gambit for a while, and then he did Mission Switch, or maybe still be doing Mission Switch. And so what he does is he's like, hey, we have this much money in our budget. We're trying to get that budget higher. The way that we get the budget higher is by perceived profit on a flip. So the episodes will be like he goes out to, Game Exchange or game stores or whatever, or yard sales, and he'll get something and be like, hey, all right, this is what I can get for it after fees on Amazon. And so he'll say, whatever I can get after fees for it on Amazon, we're going to add that to the budget. So he's spending money to then even in the same space with the perceived profit to get.
So you're saying Matt should sell some of his games,
which he's already been doing.
Yeah. I mean, I've been doing that with
games.
No.
I'm not like board games. Board games I would sell or I will trade. Even like ones where like I made a trade for some Lord of the Rings living card game stuff, like where I had things that were out of print and didn't realize it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, these are out of print. Like, let me look up the value here. Let's look up the value of these games. Well, it wasn't that. I wish. So we did a pretty good like even trade there. But like I have games that you can't just go out and buy, like Kickstarter ones. So
here's the thing. This is what I've learned, and we love the tabletop and board game industry. Absolutely love it.
Absolutely.
The resale value of tabletop games is abysmally low.
Mm-hmm. I mean, unless you have like one of those first edition ones that's
very interesting considering like the prevalence of the hobby, how
it's all about like
the cult of the new.
That's it, man. And so like the idea behind like appreciation and depreciation, right? Like, do things go up or do they go down, or do they even hold the same? Board games immediately depreciate. And I'm trying to figure out why. I really am trying to figure out why. Like, even if you have a game complete in shrink, people are less likely to pay what you paid for it. Yeah. Because, well, I could just go and get that game at a local game store, or, well, I can't buy it anywhere. So that tells you that nobody's really wanting to buy that thing. The demand for it, you think, would be higher. I'm being real with you. You think the demand would be so much higher because in relation to runs of video games, board games are much smaller runs.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's true.
So the supply and demand is much higher, but for whatever reason, I can't tell you how many times I get on like Facebook Marketplace and I've got an entire stack of games over here that I'm just like trying to get rid of, right?
On Facebook Marketplace?
Bubba's Bonanza.
Like with people who actually want board games, like in our community and stuff like that. The thing of it is like on Facebook Marketplace, it'll be like, hey, these games are going for $10 to $15.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, dip, that's an $80 game that you're selling for at most $25.
Yikes.
And it's like, oh man, it's ruining the market. But that is the market currently. And so Anna and I have thought about, and as my wife for first time listeners, Anna and I have talked about not investing so much in board games as a flippable market, but Lego. Lego, bare minimum, holds its value, right?
Yep.
Most of it appreciates, because of, the Black Label stuff and the Star Wars and licensed and this and that
Absolutely.
and the other.
I'm learning all about
open
this.
ones, like even open ones.
Even open ones for sure.
Yeah, like if you can keep it sealed, cool, that will give you a little bit more. But like even open ones, like they only made these once for this sort of time. Like,
yep.
I mean,
I've been learning.
Yeah.
What we have learned is that it doesn't freaking matter if it even has the box or not, because Lego collectors, Lego people want to build it.
Yep.
They don't want it just to sit in a box on a shelf. They want to build it. So as long as it has all the pieces, instructions, whatever, they want to be able to show the Death Star, right?
Yes. I've learned so much stuff about this Lego collecting from my friend Doug, who is a Lego maniac. He even has a tattoo that says Lego maniac.
Doug.
He's so Lego cool. Maniac. His name is Doug Lemons. That's his real last name. And he is a true Lego maniac. He was telling me all this stuff about the collecting of Lego and about this is what you should do with your minifigs. You should separate the top from the legs, put them in the dark. Like he has this whole organizational system, and he trades Lego to get more. He knows all the hot places to go to get whatever you need. Everything. So I'm like an apprentice. To Doug,
that legitimately is. Anna and I talked about, like, because I put money up aside to purchase board games at conventions and all sorts of stuff, and I'm still going to be doing that because I need to stay up on that for what it is that we do here at Love Thy Nerd, right? And because I truly enjoy that stuff. But there is no money for me in that. Yeah. There's just not. Like,
well, maybe you can look for the Bad Batch Marauder Lego and then let me know when you found it and purchased it, and then give it to me, but give it to me for like half what you paid for it.
Bad Batch Marauder Lego. So Kate, here's the scary thing about that. I don't know what that is, but I know that I have access to it.
It exists. I've seen it. It's discontinued. They don't sell it anymore. So you have to get it on the black market.
His brother-in-law is a Lego master.
He has access to the Lego vault.
Yeah. Well, I want the Bad Batch, but I don't want to pay $180 for it.
Well,
so that's why I'll give you a deal and I'll pay you half what you pay.
Well, that's also part of the thing for us that is a little bit alluring, in this is it's like, do I want Lego? I'm not a Lego guy. Like, I'm not super interested in Lego. But this is kind of where I'm actually pretty similar to my brother Tim J&P, right? In that he's not a Funko guy. Like, he's not like just wants all the Funko in the world, but he knows that is a thing that other people want, and he can get access to those things. And so with me having that, at least the knowledge of what should we buy, and how do we get those things, right? We have access to that kind of a knowledge to, see what like trends are, what are things that are coming out, like all sorts of stuff. It's not like insider trading. There's nothing illegal about it or anything like that, because some of that stuff is just hit or miss. Right. But if you think about like even the Rivendell,
oh man, that one's so cool.
Like you cannot get it if you didn't pre-order it. It's all resale.
When we were in Disney Springs, it was sitting right there. We could have gotten it.
And that's going to cost you, what was it, like $150, $250 or something like that?
That was a $500 set.
Okay.
That's retail. That's a little steep.
Retail.
See, I wouldn't pay that much for
But
Lego,
if we would have bought that and were able to get that back home, like we could have doubled or tripled our money.
Easy.
Like in a year.
And here's the thing about that too, with the Lego market, people aren't looking at that and going, Lego scalpers. I can't believe those guys. It's like, no, that's the nature of Lego.
Yep.
Yeah. And like my clone heads, my Captain Rex head has probably already gone up in value. From when I bought it already.
Yep.
So, I mean, I don't know, like legitimately speaking, I've thought about some of that stuff, like even in as much as it pertains to like Love Thy Nerd, right? Like, hey, we need ways to keep revenue generating so that we can continue this nonprofit, right?
Let's sell some Lego.
And I've thought about like, what does it look like for LTN to have either a for business side of what we do, or how to like we start something that feeds in and donates to LTN in some way, shape, or form that still stays within the realm of nerd culture, right? And so I don't know, man. Like the money is there, but more than the money, it's the access to be able to do things like Matt's doing. Like, hey, I want all the GameCube games.
Well,
Okay.
what about me? I want more Star Wars Lego of the Clone Wars.
And also Kate.
Yeah.
Also Kate wants more.
you
Wars.
too,
I need
for
to be
sure.
included.
Kate,
in
I'm
it,
just
but-
going to get you a bag of just all the same ones, and you won't even know because they're
I
clones.
shared
I
this
would know.
Instagram account with Kate where this guy buys lots of like minifigs from eBay, and he just like goes through daily and like, well, look, this one I have right here. This one's a $300 figure I just pulled up from this set right here. And I was like, oh my gosh.
It's gnarly.
It's scary. It's really I made an Amazon wish list just to like rein it in because I've also been collecting old books. I'm not going to discuss that right now. Discuss it another time.
Okay.
One thing I learned from the book collectors is refine your collection so you're not just throwing a ton of money out and casting a wide net. What is your collection? What is meaningful to you? That's why I looked at my Lego and I thought, Clone Wars. That's my era of passion of Star Wars. I want to collect, but I had already purchased like 2 other Lego kits that were not Clone Wars.
That's
But
okay.
I decided after that.
Okay.
So I made an Amazon wish list and I put stuff on there and it's like, this is what in my dream wish list, these are the Clone Wars Lego things that I would want to have.
Mm-hmm.
When I look at something and my heart's like, kind of tickling saying, oh, you want this one. I think you want this one. It's like, no, I don't want it. It's not on my wish list.
Not yet. It's not.
Not.
My wish
Just
list
a
was only
reminder.
Wind Waker, but
It's just a reminder of, what's important to your collection.
Well, hey, if anybody out there listening or watching this episode, if you know of any of this stuff or like how to get some of this crap off the ground or maybe things to be thinking about or looking at, hit us up. I mean, we're interested. This would be a fun thing to, it's content for sure. If we started something like this, it's definitely content.
I've got some big ideas for content, but I can't
So
share
you
them
mean
right
the
now.
one that you told me earlier?
I don't know.
The Lego Maniac kid?
Oh, no. That's
Great,
good.
Kate.
That's also good
Jeez.
content too.
Well, hey, anyway, let us know. We're going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere because when we come back, we're going to be talking about Kate's family's obsession with Radio Matt. You're not going to want to miss that right here
You really won't.
on the Free Play Podcast.
Hey everyone, I'm Chris Shadowin, and this is Reviews of the Nerds. Today I'm reviewing the Nateland podcast. Nate Bargatze is a stand-up comedian from Nashville. He has 2 comedy albums as well as several specials on Netflix and one that just released recently on Prime Video. During the pandemic, when comedians couldn't do their stand-up comedy in clubs, Nate grabbed a few pals to make a podcast. The Nateland podcast regulars are Nate Bargatze, Brian Bates, Aaron Weber, and Dusty Slay. Occasionally one of the guys won't be there and they'll have various guests. Each week the guys talk about where they've been on tour, answer fan mail, then discuss the topic of the week. Topics range from spies, the Supreme Court, dinosaurs, to gas stations, and who would win in a March Madness type bracket, but with animals instead of basketball teams. Needless to say, there's tons of variety in the topics they talk about each week. So, if you like laughing, if you have any joy in your heart, or if you just want to yell at some guys who have no clue what they're talking about, then this podcast is for you. If you enjoy stand-up comedy and want to hear some people that maybe you haven't heard before, this is a great place to start. And the wonderful thing about this show is that there isn't any cussing or inappropriate humor, just 4 guys being funny and making fun of each other. I've been a fan of Nate Bargatze for many years, but I didn't become a regular listener of the Nateland podcast until the 80th episode. Once I started listening, though, I haven't missed a week. If you're still on the fence, listen to episode 145, Animal Fights. That'll give you a good idea of what you're getting into. I love comedy, and it's hard to find clean content that I can listen to with my kids around. And while the podcast isn't a Christian podcast, at least 3 of the guys on there are followers of Jesus. So occasionally the topic of faith will come up. Just go listen. You'll thank me later. I'm Chris Shadowin, and remember, if you're hiking in the woods, just yell out, "Hey bear!" And for a deeper dive into media and worldview, you can check out my podcast by searching for Worldview Finder on YouTube, Spotify, or iTunes.
Hey, to close out our show today, this weirds me out, but I think it like weirds me out in all the right ways. Kate's family has like, I'm just going to call it a healthy obsession.
A love, one love.
With Radio Matt.
Yeah. Well, then when I brought it up, my aunt said, we're not obsessed with him.
Oh, who that guy? No way.
But then they watched this cameo that he made. Okay, so let me just start over in that.
From the beginning.
Last Christmas, Radio Matt had me, because, you know, was doing admin things. He was like, I want to buy my team like a Christmas thank you gift for all their service for the year. And it's going to be a Rocktopus. And I'm like, what? What is that? So he sent me the link and I had to order however many of these that he wanted in the color that he wanted and send them to everybody. And it's never really left my mind that exists, because once you see that,
is a head of a rock with octopus tentacles.
Yeah. And it's like the tentacles move.
The Rock, Dwayne
they
the
have
Rock
they have
Johnson,
joints, so the tentacles move around and stuff, and you can like have him sit places and everything. So my cousin was leaving to go to college, and I thought, I'll buy her a Rocktopus, because I've shown her months ago and she thought, oh, I would love to have a Rocktopus, right? So I purchased one for her and she opened it and everyone was looking at it at my family dinner and saying, how did you hear about this? How did you hear about this? And I said, Radio Matt showed me the Rocktopus. Half my family was horrified by the Rocktopus and the other half was really into it.
Yeah.
And
both completely normal reactions.
Both ends,
yeah, and they just wanted to know more about, you know, where this came from, because they were like, clearly you didn't find this on your own, to me. So I showed them Radio Matt. I showed them his TikToks. I showed them his other content. My cousin found him to be very funny. And we talked about Radio Matt at several family dinners.
Mm-hmm.
And just about him, and
as you do, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, at least you weren't talking behind his back.
We talked about him, and they were more interested. So then I wrote in Discord, and I said to Radio Matt that my family like might be obsessed with you. They really like you. I don't know. So he recorded a cameo for them. That I'll post this as well on the Free Play social media, and it was very well done cameo. And then my aunt said that they weren't obsessed with him, but then why did they watch the cameo on the TV?
Yeah, I don't believe him.
On the TV.
They put him on the TV to watch the cameo. And my cousin, again, really loved this cameo. She thought, oh, what a charming fellow. I'm pretty sure is exactly what she said. She's 20. Just to give an age.
She sounds older, yeah.
She says, what a charming fellow about
What a
Coker.
charming young man.
And then she actually spent the night at my house once, where she made me, herself, and this other girl, aka my cousin's girlfriend, who's like my cousin. Mm-hmm. She made us all paper claws, a full set of 10 paper claws, where you put the claw, you know, on each finger, and it looks like Wolverine. She made this like origami paper claws.
Yeah.
And they were super cool and awesome. And I'm sure you're wondering, where is this going? Where it's going is my cousin left her set of paper claws at my house. And I said, do you want this? And she said, can you please mail them to Radio Matt? So I said, okay. And then she also dictated a note for me to include in the, what's it called? In the package with the, with the paper claws. I'm trying to find it now because I wasn't prepared.
Okay.
But I had to write it down, and then I had to mail it to Coker.
Dictated but not read. Got it.
Absolutely,
And yeah, she didn't write it herself. She told me to write it.
ChatGPT wrote it, and then
Oh, it should be right here. Where is it? I'll just include it in the social media post. I'll have that be a little cliffhanger for you to see. And Coker received the claws. He did not put them on his fingers like how we were doing it. He put the paper claws between his fingers. Like
he did it Wolverine style.
More like Wolverine.
That's a Wolverine style.
To which my cousin responded to him by saying, what a schoolboy error. And I think that's the last communication there's been.
Hey, never meet your heroes. Okay?
There's this back and forth between specifically my cousin and Coker, this like fascination of Coker's discovery of the Rocktopus. The family thing that we did where my cousin puts the Rocktopus on this miniature couch and puts a miniature cowboy hat on his miniature head and props him up with a small pillow. And we did a family prayer for dinner. He sat between my aunt and my cousin, and they held onto his tentacles while we prayed.
This is the content I need right here. I need photos of this.
I will put it all on the social media. That's why you should follow the Free Play Podcast, because I have a lot of good stuff like this.
At Free Play Podcast on Instagram.
But Coker really had an impact on my family this summer, where there's this like push-pull, like we're obsessed with him, we're not obsessed with him. No, we're not, but we want to see more from him. Schoolboy error. He's a charming fellow. So there's just a lot kind of in the air right now between my family and Coker. And
do you need me to send anything?
Matt, you're just gonna get in the way, muck it up, man. Like,
you to send anything
just
to
stay
my
out.
cousins?
Just stay out of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they won't find you as funny as they find Coker. I think your charms only work on the certain people. I think
in person stuff. Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
So I don't even really know what to say about it. And I was afraid that Coker would be like, oh my gosh, this is like a really serious situation. I need to relocate my family.
No.
But he did this. He did this. In the cameo, he did say, please don't kidnap me. And he offered up his children. So.
Yeah, let's say like a reverse Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah. Makes sense. So Radio Matt, what a charming fellow.
Yeah, if you need somebody for your family to love, just send them to Radio Matt's.
Yeah, very wholesome, I guess.
Hey, congratulations, Matt.
Yeah. My cousin in the letter did say thanks for your TikToks. And I can't remember what else she said. Oh, she said originally she told me she wanted the letter to be sent to him ransom note style.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Yeah, but then she said to include in the letter to him, but I don't have access to magazines.
Millennials. Huh. What are a magazine?
Yeah, call them zines. They're back to zines.
Zines. They're zines. Yeah.
Zines, yeah.
So, yeah, I've been hanging out a lot with my family just because the way this summer has been. I've been hanging out a lot with my cousins who have now all gone to college, and I'm so sad. So I just have these moments to cling to, like my cousin wanting to write Coker a ransom note, but she doesn't have access to magazines.
That's a tale as old as time.
Typed it, right? Do you think it's a font? It's probably a font.
I'm sure, but I wasn't going to put that much effort into it.
Okay.
The paper claws getting sent was the priority. So Coker has those now.
Speaking of not putting too much effort into something, that's going to do it for this episode of the Free Play Podcast. Episode 177 here of season 9. We're so grateful that you guys are here with us, that you're sticking out. We hope that you love it. For those of you that are confused out of your minds, in Discord, let me finish.
Sorry.
That, hey, we went live and we didn't mean to go live and what's going on. We're not on Twitch for this season. And so, hey, we love you. Please come out, hang out with us in Discord, lovethynerd.com/Discord. Join that. Be a part of it. This is where we do life. We've got Ahsoka watch parties going on. We've got, Bible studies. We've got, Tuesday night sus stuff where people are playing Goose Goose Duck and Among Us. We have an arcade there where you can just hop in and play Baldur's Gate 3 if that's what you're doing. Like whatever, it doesn't matter. I want to give you space to come in, hang out, and just do community with people. Again, that's lovethynerd.com/Discord. And while you're at lovethynerd.com, check out all the cool stuff we got. Tons of resources, podcasts. We got brand new podcasts that we've added.
Yep.
Woo.
Coker is killing it with his paper claws and without.
We now have the Faith and Fandom podcast. That's a part of our podcast network, as well as the RPG Rundown, which is a brand new podcast that is all about TTRPGs, systems, how to play, what's cool, all sorts of that stuff. If that's your jam, go and hang out in our Discord and talk all about it. And make sure you subscribe to the RPG Rundown. First episode airs on October the 2nd, 2023, the year of our Lord. So go check all that out. Hey, new episodes of this podcast come out every Wednesday. I don't care what this Google Doc says. They come out Wednesdays.
Oh, sorry, I didn't edit the end. I didn't make it that far.
We'll edit that in post.
Here, I'll type it now.
They come out every Wednesday, so be sure to check us out on your favorite podcasting platform of choice, including now primarily-ish YouTube, because we're not on Twitch. So if you want to find the video version, that's where we'll be. And hey, also make sure that you're following us on all the social media at Love Thy Nerd on the X. Do we call it the X or just
I don't
on
know.
X?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I guess on
the
X.
artist,
Or
the
just
artist
keep
formerly
calling
known
it
as Twitter.
Keep calling it Twitter. Refuse to give in.
Yeah, I don't even know if they know what it is at this point. No, they don't. And also follow Free Play Podcast on Instagram and
the
Twitter
most important.
at Free Play Podcast. Mm-hmm.
That's the most important thing you can do out of everything you just said.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, we've got a lot of cool things going on with Love Thy Nerd. We got mission trips coming up. So if you want to make use of any of that stuff, please go to lovethynerd.com/onmission to find out the different areas that we have. We're looking for people to come with us to Philadelphia in December for PAX Unplugged. We'd love for you to be a part of that. And also, we've got the Nerd Culture Ministry Summit happening November 8th, 9, and 10 in sunny Marble Falls, Texas. We'd love for you to come and be a part of that as well if you're in the area. More information about that at ncmsummit.com. Well, hey, I think that's going to do it. And once again, I'm Bubba Stallcup.
I'm Matt Warmbier.
I'm Kate Katawaki.
And for our cut man, CJ. We'll catch you on the next episode of the Free Play Podcast. And if no one else tells you this, just remember it's true. Jesus loves you, nerd.